Hi there, thanks for tuning in. You're watching Tell Us Your Vision, and my name is Ariana. In this video interview, I talk with Max Paularena, Denver-based visionary artist, about the inspiration behind his shamanic and medicinal artwork, as well as his vision for an awakened and empowered world. Be sure to check out the links below if you want to look at more of Max's work. And without further ado, let's hear what he has to say. I was very curious about your style of art and how that developed from your influences and what brought you to the very colorful and very kind of shamanic visions that you portray.
Cool. Well, I always like cartoons, and like my art style has always been cartoonish and bright and I don't know, bubbly. So it comes very natural to me, and I've always been painting and drawing and doing visual art, but I never considered myself an artist until a couple of years back, maybe 3 years back. But I really wanted to start like taking it seriously. And at that time, I was going through this period where my world was becoming very funny and you know um, unfamiliar, and so I had this need to express those um, abstractions and emotions and thoughts and visions and point of view. So I was like um, trying to find other artists that were doing the same thing. And I've never heard of the visionary community. So I found all the big artists, Alison Gray, Alex Gray, Chris Dyer, uh, and I realized that I could do that. I could ex- express my visions without being afraid of not being understood. So I just started bringing whatever was happening in my process at the time and incorporating my art style. And at first, it was kind of a weird clash because I come from this cartoon and completely different to the visionary style background. So it was a bit of a clash, but I think I've been adapting to it better, and I like what's coming out, and I see other artists that are doing the same thing.
When you say cartoons, what about that defines a cartoon? Is it the line work or is it the colors?
I think it's a lot of the line work and the very the usage of block colors as opposed to a lot of fading and what I see a lot in visionary art is more like a realistic approach, even if it's abstract and um, expressionist at times. It's always like with that realistic shadows in mind and lack of line work.
Okay, and did you start by just learning how to draw? Did you just pretty much stay on paper with pen for a while, or did you go straight into painting? How did that
Well,
evolve?
I've been in art classes since I was like literally in kindergarten. I went to this great school and we did all different kinds of stuff, but I've always been doodling like on my notebooks, instead of taking notes, I was doodling. So I can like I would always be drawing, especially in ink. Like I don't like pencils, so I would always be drawing on pen, and I would do this like line shadow, and so yeah, it was definitely more drawing, but I also took painting classes in high school, and that's why it was such a clash because I didn't know how to translate my drawings into paintings. And what really helped me was Chris Dyer. That's why I really like him. And he's a great person too. But his style really resonates with me. And I actually was a little scared when I first started painting because I tried to incorporate those shadow lines and highlights into my painting. And then one day I find him on social media, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm totally copying, like
Yeah, taking
plagiarizing this
inspiration.
guy. But I've been, yeah, yeah. And I didn't know he's painting before that, but I was just trying to translate my drawings into painting. So I tried to like, respect his stuff, and I was like, all right, I need to do something a little different. But yeah, it definitely comes from drawing.
Okay. I was going to say on
Yeah.
the point of Chris Dyer that, it's one thing to take inspiration from a person's technical style, but it actually seems that you explore in the same kind of realm as far as the content you portray.
Yeah.
Where do those visions come from?
Well, I think art has been very therapeutic for me because I had my dose of fun in college, and I overdid it for a little bit, and it left me like very ungrounded. So I was like trying to look for something that would maybe not bring me back, but ground me a little bit more, and that's why art became so important for me because it was something that I could look forward to, and um, you know, in that I could aspire to be. Like I could aspire to be an artist, and I think that's probably the same thing that Chris tries to do. Is just get his emotions and his experiences and put them into his pieces. That's probably what we buy in the same way. And another thing is that after that experience, I've been taking plant medicines and a little more respectfully and more. I have a more serious approach to them, which is also an approach that Chris has opposed to some other psychedelic artists or visionary artists, which are still without judging, they're still seeking for a different experience than we
Mm-hmm.
are. And I really look up to the guy. I went to the jungle with him for a week, and we vibe a
Wow.
lot. And he definitely inspires me quite a bit.
Wow. I can't imagine
Yeah.
what traveling to the jungle and being immersed in it all probably does to someone. That's amazing.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was a great catalysis, definitely.
was it also a plant medicine journey too, or was it specifically an art workshop?
It was both. We spent a week in the jungle. There was 18 other artists, and we had 3 ayahuasca ceremonies over the course of a week.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was everything we're doing was painting and the ceremony and doing work. And I had some great conversations with him and with the other artists, and it was very it was a great opportunity to integrate everything that I've been living just in my own, a little secluded from the community, and bringing it to a place where we are all in the same level or same vibration, and then realizing that, oh, okay, this is how it goes. There's other people who are into this. I'm not just trying to do this crazy thing by myself.
Mm-hmm. There's a whole community for it. It's a whole earth tradition, really.
Yeah, it seems a very human thing.
Mm-hmm. Like it's been around for as long as humans have been around themselves. The
Yeah,
shamanic traditions.
exactly, and related to the art, like it's always come hand in hand because which other way are you gonna express those kind of quests and trips without art?
Yeah, I was just curious if you would share a little bit about your particular ayahuasca journey and what that showed you in relation to your art, what that revealed to you about your path as an artist.
Well, it was my first time doing ayahuasca, and I've always wanted to. Well, not always. Since I was a teen, I've been very curious about it, and I'm still learning about it. I think like every day, I'm like, oh, I'm relating things to the trip, and the journey itself, it was very different the 3 times. The first time it felt like a welcoming, and that was definitely very empowering personally, and also gave me a very big insight in my role as an artist, because I realized like we're literally, all just hanging out here in this realm, in this planet, and it's just like a playground, it's just like a sandbox. Like we can do whatever we want, and I already had this um, mission in my heart of like being an artist. So now I'm like, all right, I got things to say. Like it made me realize I'm my own person, I have my own thoughts. It really washed away a lot of my self, the rules and barriers and blockages that I've put on myself. So it was very liberating, and I think my art has definitely taken a turn. Let me just put myself on. Yeah, it was just very empowering, and a big introspection into getting to know myself and who I really am without all the things I've labeled myself as. Um, yeah, I think that answers the question. I'm still learning so much about that experience, and every day there's something to be added.
Yeah, it carries with you, and you gain new insights as you live through the experience of your journey. It's really about returning back to source and finding the creator within. And for me, the in my recent experience, it was about really shifting my outlook to focus on the world that I want to help create rather than
Mm.
fixating on the problems that we see in the world around us that are really just a
Yeah,
result of the
I,
past modalities, mentalities.
I see that pattern too in people in the community, that we are not longer just dreading the world we live in and complaining about it, but we're actually doing stuff and manifesting the reality we want to keep living in. We're all into this sustainability and trying to preserve the planet thing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, and creating a new global culture as well that is connected with the earth and empowering the individual.
Hmm.
What does that look like for you in your mind if you had to envision your ideal planet where everyone, is embodying themselves? What do you think what do you see?
That's a big question, but I don't know. I definitely, that's the biggest thing. Like living with the earth is the big picture in my mind when we talk about like a more positive, sustainable future. It's just living with the earth. There's the thing about like letting consumerism stay in the past, because it's the same thing. Like we're just programmed to consume and consume and consume, and we don't even sometimes realize the giant track we're leaving behind us with garbage and the fact that we are so focused on development and making bigger cities and making more houses and making more apartment buildings, and we are like little by little creeping up on nature, which like keeps disappearing, and not only the trees and the soil, but also the people protecting it. We're slowly um, finishing everything that is connected to nature, and it might seem like a very uh, hippie three hugger thing to worry about, but the reality is that that's where we come from, and if we don't preserve it, well, first of all, the planet is not gonna um, sustain us, and second of all, we're gonna be completely disconnected from our, like you were saying, like source and our true selves. There's gonna be nothing grounding us anymore to our humanity. So if I had to envision something, would be smaller communities, actual communities, not just people living together, but people living for each other and sharing ideas. Uh, we would no longer be working 8 to 5 jobs, and we would be focusing more on what we need to live, which is growing food, um, making our own clothes, surviving, seeking, maybe not seeking shelter, building shelter, sharing our shelters, and doing art. And with
Hmm.
art, I mean everything like music, painting, just
What is going on with that large square canvas behind you? Looks like a
stuff.
shaman. Yeah.
So I've been working in this almost for a year, and it all started because I saw this picture of like all Mexican revolutionary soldiers, and it was a picture of a whole bunch of them, and they all have the classic like revolutionary hat, which is
Hmm.
like what people portrayed Mexicans as, and it looked like a bunch of little mushrooms. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then I got an idea of like, oh, you know, I'm gonna paint something like that. And then like exploring the sketch and like a concept for it, it gave me the idea that like psilocybin is like such a like revolutionary medicine. Like it doesn't only awaken that's revolutionary spirit in us, but it also mm, it well yeah that's what it is. It's a revolutionary spirit. Lets you let like we were talking. It helps you let go of those blockages and uh, self-told prophecies, so you can actually live a more authentic life. So he's just like this. I don't know if you can really see it. I'm gonna push it forward. Like this revolution warrior, and he kind of like looks like a mushroom. And I put this belt, like the bullet belts that they used
Uh-huh.
to wear, but instead of bullets, the first sketch was with bullets, and then I was like, what is like the weapon of the modern revolution? Which for me is like the permaculture and the self-sustainable style. So they're all like seeds, and I've been calling them like the seeds
Mm.
of consciousness because then it plays like a game of words. So it's not only
Hmm.
like, oh, that's the weapon we're using, but you can also like use this, or he uses his bullets to plant the seed of consciousness. And
Yes.
yeah, and then well, there's a lot of going on. He has like this two weapon rockets in his hand. One is like kind of resembling a bomb. And I'm not like a big stoner anymore. I actually stopped smoking a year ago, and I've been like indulging in edibles now and then because it's COVID season, and you know it's something fun to do, and I think it's healthier than alcohol, and it's also a good medicine. Like it's very introspective. Um, if used in the right way. So I put this little meditate phrase there because that's what I think cannabis has done for me. Like has
Mm.
really opened that introspection, curiosity, and on the other hand, he has this mushroom, um, and that one says re-evolution because there's all that concept of mushrooms helping us evolve from advanced primates into what we're today. And also, I think that's what a revolution is like
Hmm.
reinvention of ourselves. Um, what else?
Talk about the
um,
hat. I wanted to know more about what's up with the eye and the hat and everything.
well, I'm always thinking of our energy, how it moves through our bodies, and obviously we have a low energy. I feel not only like think about it, but I feel when I'm draining energy that's how the energy moves. So in this case, it's all going up, and so I'm still got a lot of detail to do over here, but that's basically what the hat is doing. It's like an antenna. Actually, the first sketch had like a ray of light coming off him, which I took off. And then I have the seven colors of the rainbow. It actually only has six. I just noticed. But let's imagine it's the seven colors of the rainbow, and that just for me uh, is a symbol of unification across cultures, across ways of thinking. And I was first gonna like put some like religious symbols in each of it, but then I was like, let's not touch on it because you never know um, who you can not offend, but maybe yeah, you can offend.
I think resorting to more abstract geometrical shapes, it creates more room for interpretation, I think.
Yes, that's what that's why a lot of things I took off the sketch because then you can really interpret it however you want. And obviously we got the third eye of like it's a symbol of awakening, but I also think it's a symbol of manifestation. Like whatever you visualize with that third eye, or like outside of your three-dimensional eyes, is what you are manifesting. So I put this little. It's gonna be a flame right now. It's like a yellow drop because
I
like
see it.
fire is cool.
It's like
Fire
a
is
spark.
yeah, is the manifestation. I'm lost. The manifestation archetype.
It's
Yeah.
lovely. And the eagles, if
Thank you.
if you would touch on those, what brought those into the picture?
Well, I had a lot of empty space, and originally I was gonna do something completely different. And I came back from Peru, and I was really feeling this concept of the eagle and the condor. I don't know if you heard of the prophecy of the American people of the eagle and the condor.
I have not.
Well, it's pretty interesting, and I'm not the best person to be asked about it because I don't have like all the exact words, but we're supposed to be living in the time of the Eight Fire, which for the American people, and it's pretty cool because it's a prophecy that extends from North America to South America. It's a time of unification, and the North American tribes represent the eagle, and the South American tribes represent the condor, and the condor is said to be related to the heart, while the eagle is said to be related to intelligence, and it brings light. So this is supposed to be a time where we uh, connect with each other, and for me, it's a very real thing because like ayahuasca has blown up out of South America, like it's being held everywhere now, and that's really like a big connection to the heart. So that's why I was thinking about it. So I have like the golden eagle and a condor in each corner. And
I see.
That's what I was going for. Yeah.
Yeah, because they do look like different birds now that you point that out. But
Yeah.
I didn't know that they revered the condor in South America.
Yeah,
that's
they're
amazing.
huge birds. They're huge birds, and they're said to be connected to the heart. To show you the path of the heart as a spirit animal more than anything.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Well, I absolutely love that painting, and I cannot wait to see it when it's done. It looks like it could be done already. That's beautiful.
I got so much detail to do, and like I've taken so long with it, but I think it's gonna be worth it. Like I always take so long with my paintings, but
me too.
I let go of that of that expectation too, because you see all these artists on Instagram and they have like a new painting every week.
I know.
But I'm pretty satisfied with my how long I take with my art now.
Yeah, I mean, it's great if you can bust out a painting every week and make it look awesome. That's awesome, but
Hmm.
I think there's no expectation for every artist to perform at the same speed or, in the same way. So however that comes out for you, if you want to spend an entire lifetime on a painting, go for it.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
That's what we were saying. It's just the actual experience of it more on the end product.
How I was going to ask you, do you how often do you practice art? Is it a daily thing for you, or do you set aside time on a regular basis to do it, or is it just when it comes through?
So I think it's been a process. Like it used to be a thing of like whenever the inspiration strikes, I'm gonna do it. But I've realized that if I want to dedicate myself one day and sustain myself from my art, I have to make a bigger effort. And from there, it became kind of like not a necessity to achieve my life goal, but kind of I want to do it because it's a way of connecting to something bigger than myself. So I do try to make time for it on a daily basis, and I don't get to it on a daily basis because life is busy, and sometimes I think about it and I'm like, well, I could spend all night painting and then wake up tomorrow at 6 a.m. to go to work, or I could get some rest and maybe tomorrow will be a better day to do art.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I always do something, a little doodle or a little bit of pottery or some digital art. I try to.
Yeah, I notice you dabble in a lot of different media. What is up with the pottery? Does that have to do with your paintings? Do they all kind of live in the same universe?
I don't know. I was pretty lost a few months ago with it. I was like trying to put more of my visual art out there, but sometimes I get very not frustrated, but my mind gets very busy when I'm painting because a lot of it is planned, and then a lot of it is like sitting there and being like, okay, which color works with this, and how am I gonna achieve the technique I'm trying to achieve. So there's a lot of thinking, and well, I love plants, and I have a bunch of cacti, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to make a pot, and then people started liking them, so I was like, I'm gonna start selling them because I don't know, it's different than my paintings because I actually don't sell my bigger works because like I already spent a year on this, and then that's like a lot of time, and maybe I could sell it to someone that collects art, but I don't know, maybe it's not very good for me that I can all let go of them, but I also would like to one day exhibit them all in the same
Hmm.
place, which has become a very personal choice. But with the pots and all that, it's something that I can actually, sell the actual artisanal product. And I've been taking it pretty seriously, and it's going pretty well.
Yeah,
I
I've
also
seen
do
your pots on
music.
Instagram. Oh, and the music, yes. Yeah,
Yeah, I went to
I saw
college for
your.
music.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that was
Did,
the thing I chose, and then I'm painting now.
well, it's all interrelated. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
the work you do on the paintings makes the music better and vice versa.
I think so.
I saw the cumbia that you
Yeah.
posted, the
Hmm.
psychedelic cumbia. What
Yeah.
is cumbia? Is that a style of music?
Yeah, it's a genre, I guess. It's very I actually didn't like it when I was younger because in Mexico everybody's trying to be American. So I was like, oh, let's do rock, and like I was a metalhead when I was a teenager. And so cumbia was like what my parents listened to, and I was like, oh, that's lame. But I
Yeah,
actually
it's like
really
the dum,
connect to it now.
dum, 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 you know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
really like it now. I play it a lot. Like, I drive my family crazy. I always like playing my. And then there's like popular cumbias, and there's like cumbias I listen to, and I really like those groups from like the Amazon. They get pretty
Mhm.
weird with them. So yeah, I like those.
Yeah, it was interesting to see a psychedelic twist on it. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Oh really? There's a
Yeah.
bunch of groups. I should send you some links.
Yeah, please do. Please do. I'll check them out. Yeah, my family is on my mom's side is Panamanian and Puerto Rican, so I get the vibe,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
around Christmas
completely
time,
funny. Like it just
she
starts
really kicks
bouncing
up the
around.
music. Yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
know exactly what you mean.
The subject of culture, it can be touchy for some people, but I think that it's important to have reverence for your ancestors, but at the same time, not overly identify in an egoic sense with the physical
Hmm.
body. So
Hmm.
having reverence for the wisdom and the knowledge that is passed down in the traditions, but still seeing all people as coming from one source ultimately.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool way of putting it. I mean, it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, but it's true. Like at the end, we are all one people. In our core, at least, we're all like the same people.
Yeah, with the especially with if you look past the body and past the human history, if you just look at spirit and
Mm.
just the soul itself, I mean, it's all the same thing that is streaming through my body and giving me life is the same thing that's doing that for you and for the
Hmm.
neighbor's cat and you know
Definitely.
all beings on the
Just
planet.
different
So
manifestations of it, but with the same essence.
hmm
Hmm.
and I think visionary art helps to capture that as well because it's what it's depicting. I mean, every visionary artist is different, every artist is different, period.
Yeah.
But especially those that create visual images and paintings or things like that, I think it takes us beyond the physical realm and shows us something about the intangible.
Hmm. And that's why all the visionary art seems so similar, right? Because we're like all trying to talk about the same thing.
Hmm
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel that.
and I've always had this question of what makes art visionary, because I don't think it's a visual style. I think it's a
Mm-mm.
conceptual genre.
Yeah, and it's not all about like even the entheogen experience neither, because
Hmm
I've seen visionary artists who don't even like uh, practice visionary medicines. They're just like it's coming from the same concept of something bigger than our physical reality, maybe.
Yeah, I think entheogens are simply one tool,
Hmm.
among many tools, and I think you can access the same realms within yourself,
Hmm.
through breath work or deep introspection and meditation,
Yeah,
or even
yeah.
the dream realm. Everybody dreams. So
That's one reason I stopped smoking pot, because like I've stopped dreaming for so long,
really.
and my shaman in Peru told me that like the smoke actually like calcifies your pineal gland very very
Hmm,
bad. So
that's
that
interesting.
yeah, and that's why I've been doing edibles, because at least you know I'm
Oh,
not suffering all that.
so the shaman doesn't have an issue with THC. It's more the actual smoke itself.
I don't think he has an issue with either of those, but uh, something I felt personally with cannabis, it's how big it can like um get you in its grasp, and then it's very hard to get out of there. Like I spent
Hmm
probably like 3 years of my life like stoned out of my mind every day, and I didn't see a problem with it until I tried to like stop smoking, and I was like, oh my god, this is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least from the perspective of if you're using it as a crutch, or you don't feel like, or you feel like you're externalizing your power to that substance, I think that's when
Hmm.
it becomes a problem. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, you're right. I think so.
well, yeah, I can't thank you enough for talking with me today. And I was just going to ask if there's anything else that you wanted to share about your paintings, or anything else you do, really. Any other things you're inspired by that you'd love to share with the world?
um, well, there's probably a lot I want to share, but I don't know. Not really. This is who I am. I do art. That's what I've like come to know about myself in the last few years. That whatever I do, that's what I'm aiming for. Just expressing myself and in a beautiful, aesthetic way. If that
It
makes any
is
sense.
it is beautiful indeed. I think you should
Thank
definitely continue on the path and keep going, because I mean you're already great, but you're only going to keep getting better, and refining your
I
style or
appreciate
even
that.
experimenting. So, and is there anything that you would offer to people, a message that they could take away if maybe they're considering pursuing their passion, but they might have limitations? What would you offer to them from your wisdom and your experience?
I would say that we are all in at some point of our life in the same place. Like it's hard. Society doesn't have it easy for artists. We're not taken seriously a lot of the time, but that doesn't mean that we are delusional or not valid. That our message is important, and the world needs art, and it's a true medicine, along with any other medicines that you might consider. Like art is a true medicine for the individual and for people receiving the message on the other side.
Wow. Yeah, art is a medicine. Most definitely. It's a way of being able to express and transmute pain into something beautiful that is a greater experience than the pain itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it can help other people as well, not just the
Yeah,
artist making it, but the viewers on the other end.
it's very validating for other people. Like I've been on the other side too. Looking up at one of my favorite artists and feeling validated, feeling like someone resonates with what I'm going through.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, you having artists that you look up to, you are becoming an artist that other people can look up to as well, just in the same way that other people have done it for you. So every single person has a voice that may appeal to an audience that's waiting to hear that voice,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
might need
that's
that
true.
inspiration.
Like people need your art.
Yes. And real quick before we go, I just wanted to mention that you have an online store. Is that right?
Yes, I do. It's
How long has that been up
Mac.
for?
Well, it's gone through its phases too. Like I tried to open it 3 years ago, and then I was like rebranding myself, and I think it's been up for almost a year now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it doing quite well? Have you seen traffic on it and
it does sometimes, and it doesn't sometimes. Sometimes it just goes silent completely, and some other times it's like overwhelming.
that's
Yeah,
great.
it could do
Yeah.
better.
Well, it's a process,
Yeah.
you got to make the art too. You can't spend every
Hmm.
minute just promoting it. You still got to be the artist. So you're wearing lots of
That's
hats.
that was a hard lesson for me, like this past year, because I was like, why am I not making any money? And it's like, well, you're spending all your time trying to make money when you should be making art.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah,
just letting the art go out into the world, and if it comes back to you, it does. If it doesn't, you're still
hmm,
making art.
yeah,
You're still
that's a very wise way of of seeing it.
Yeah, just keep creating as you feel inspired to, and keep keep feeling dedicated to that spiritual connection with yourself, and the rest will take care of itself, really.
Yeah, that's very true.
And you were going to say the website if you want to. Go ahead.
It's pretty hard to understand, but it's Max Paularena, Paulaarena. That's my last name, and it's a tongue twister, but it's maxpaularena.com. It's pretty easy.
Awesome. Awesome. And I'll link your social media too, so that people can check out more of your work if they want to follow you. And yeah, you've been a great inspiration to talk to, and I just want to thank you for your time
Oh, same
and
to you, Arena. Thank you
your
so much.
wisdom.
It was pretty fun, and uh, insightful conversation.